Last episode, we said access is always your responsibility. IAM is the tool for exactly that job. We'll start with the root user, then users and groups, then roles, and the rule that ties them all together, least privilege. Let's get into it. Every AWS account is born with one all-powerful login, the root user. It can do absolutely anything, even change billing and close the account. So turn on multi-factor authentication for it right away, then lock it away, and sign in as root only when you truly must. Everything else gets its own separate, limited identity. You create IAM users, one per person or app. But per user permissions get messy fast, so you use groups. A group bundles users. You attach permissions once, and everyone inside inherits them. Add someone to a group, and they get its access. Remove them, and it's gone. What actually grants permission is a policy. A policy is a document that allows or denies specific actions on specific resources. For example, allow reading files in one storage bucket and nothing else. You attach policies to users, groups, or roles. AWS then checks them on every single request, and by default, nothing is allowed until a policy explicitly says so. So how does AWS actually decide? 3 rules. First, by default, everything is denied. Nothing is allowed until you grant it. Second, an explicit allow in a policy opens that door. And third, an explicit deny always wins, overriding any allow. So a permission only happens when something grants it, and one deny can shut it right back down. That leads to the golden rule of cloud security, least privilege. It means giving each identity only the permissions it actually needs to do its job, and nothing more. Someone who only reads reports has no business holding the power to delete a production database. In practice, you don't start wide and trim later. You start from nothing, add exactly what the task requires, and stop there. Yes, it's a little more work up front, and it can feel overcautious. But the payoff is real. When access is kept tight, a single mistake or a single stolen password can only ever reach a small corner of your account instead of all of it. Shrinking that blast radius is the whole point, and it's the phrase the exam comes back to again and again. Now roles, the trickiest piece, so let's walk the flow. Step 1, a trusted identity assumes a role instead of a password. Step 2, AWS hands back temporary, short-lived credentials. Step 3, the app uses those keys to do its work. And Step 4, the keys expire on their own, so nothing long-lived is left to be stolen, which is exactly why AWS services almost always use roles. 2 more pieces to know. First, MFA, a second sign-in step beyond your password. Second, access keys, long-term credentials for code and the command line. Treat access keys like passwords and prefer roles wherever you can. Roles keep you out of the key management business entirely. At RealScale, sign-in works differently. IAM Identity Center gives each person one sign-in across many AWS accounts. With Federation, people use an identity they already have, like a company directory or Google. Under the hood, they simply assume a role with no new AWS password. People just bring who they already are, and IAM grants the access. On the exam, IAM is a few clear cues. The all-powerful account is the root user. Sharing one login is wrong. Each person gets their own user. Giving a service temporary access means a role, and granting only what's needed is least privilege, the phrase to watch for. Let's recap. The root user is all-powerful, so protect it with MFA and set it aside. IAM users and groups give each person their own identity with permissions managed in one place. Roles hand out temporary credentials with nothing long-lived to leak, and least privilege ties it all together. Only ever grant what's actually needed. Next episode, protecting your infrastructure. We'll look at firewalls that control the traffic in and out, called security groups. Services that absorb attacks like WAF and Shield, and tools that hunt for threats like guard duty. That's how you defend what's actually running. Thanks for watching, and see you there.